You didn't notice it all at once. It began quietly, perhaps with a slight hesitation when standing from your favorite chair, a gentle wobble while stepping off a curb, a strange fatigue in your thighs when you walk the same route you've walked for years. At first you shrugged it off. It's just age, you thought. Everyone slows down eventually. And for a time you accepted that narrative. But somewhere inside, maybe in the still moments of early morning or the quiet ache before bed, a deeper voice began to whisper, what if this isn't just age? What if my legs are telling me something? Something I've ignored. You remember when your legs were strong. They carried groceries, grandchildren, luggage. They climbed stairs without protest. They danced to Wanamarnas. They knelt to tend gardens or to play with a child on the floor. Those legs were dependable, but lately they've begun to falter. Not catastrophically, but enough that you notice. A few years ago, you were the one helping others up. Now you're reaching for a railing. Now you think twice about uneven pavement or a long stretch in the grocery store. And while the world may tell you that's normal, that it's simply getting older, you can feel it. Something deeper is happening. The truth is your legs may not be weakening because of age alone. They may be weakening because something essential is missing. Not something dramatic or obvious. Something small, invisible. Vital. A quiet erosion of the building blocks that gave your legs their strength for decades. And the most overlooked of those building blocks, vitamins. That might sound too simple, too ordinary, but for millions of people, over 60 subtle long-term deficiencies in just a few key vitamins are the hidden cause behind leg pain, instability, weakness, cramps, and even fear of falling. Your muscles, bones, and nerves don't just operate on willpower. They run on nutrients, specific ones. And as you age, your body becomes less efficient at absorbing them, using them, holding on to them. That change is invisible until you feel it in your legs. What starts as stiffness becomes hesitation. What starts as fatigue becomes avoidance. And slowly you begin to move less to trust your legs, less to venture out less. It's not a lack of courage. It's biology, and one that can be changed. Because even now your body is still listening, still responding, still waiting for you to give it the support it needs. Let me explain why this matters. Your legs aren't just muscle. They're made of an intricate system of bones, tendons, blood vessels, nerves, connective tissue, and lymph flow. These systems rely on specific nutrients to maintain integrity, communication, and power. When those nutrients are missing, your legs don't just get old. They begin to break down at the micro level. The electrical signals that travel from your spine to your feet begin to sputter. The calcium meant for your femurs begins drifting elsewhere. The inflammation that used to be calm now lingers. And the muscles that once surged with strength start to retreat. Not overnight, but certainly over time. And yet we rarely ask about this. We rarely stop and wonder what is actually feeding my legs. Not just food, not just calories, but the nutrients that tell my body how to repair, rebuild, and move. It's important to understand that these deficiencies don't always come from poor diet. In fact, you may be eating well. But as we age, our stomach produces less acid, making it harder to extract certain nutrients from food. Medications like antacids, blood pressure pills, and even metformin used for blood sugar can interfere with absorption. Add in less sun exposure, lower appetite, or repeated meals that lack variety, and slowly your vitamin levels begin to drop. And your legs are the first to feel it. Let me tell you about someone named Joan. She was 74, sharp as ever, but had slowly begun to fear walking outside. She'd had a few near falls. Her legs felt weak, not painful, just unreliable. Her doctor had told her it was just age, but her granddaughter, a nutritionist, suggested testing for nutrient levels. The results were Joan was low in vitamin D, B12, and magnesium. Nothing exotic, just low in the very substances her legs needed. Within 6 weeks of supplementation, her gait improved. She felt steadier, more confident. She wasn't training for a marathon. She was simply walking again, without fear. Joan is not alone. Across the country, men and women in their 60s, 70s, and 80s are silently losing mobility, not because they're too old to move, but because their bodies are lacking the fundamental tools to support movement. And when those tools are restored, often gently, gradually, and naturally, so is hope. That's what this journey is about. Not about magic cures or anti-aging fantasies, but about rebuilding strength from within with knowledge, intention, and kindness. Over the next sections, we're going to explore 5 essential vitamins that play a direct research-backed role in leg health. Vitamins that support bones, calm nerves, relax muscles, prevent cramping, and keep the blood flowing through your calves and feet. These are not trendy supplements or internet fads. They are real, measurable, and often neglected. You'll learn how these vitamins interact, how to recognize when they're missing, and most importantly, how to restore them safely. No expensive therapies. No invasive treatments, just clear understanding and small choices that make a big difference. Before we go there, I want you to reflect for a moment. How do your legs feel right now? Are you avoiding certain activities? Not because you don't want to do them, but because your body doesn't feel safe doing them. Do you feel pain, numbness, weakness, or a lack of trust in your own balance? Do you use walls, furniture, or canes? Not because of a diagnosis, but because of an uncertainty that didn't used to be there. If so, you're not alone. And you're not beyond help. Your body may simply be calling for fuel it hasn't received in years. And once it does, once those quiet deficiencies are corrected, the change might surprise you. Because strength in old age isn't a miracle. It's a conversation with your body, with your history, with your needs. And the sooner we begin listening, the sooner we begin walking stronger again, not just with our feet, but with confidence. So if you're ready, let's continue. Let's look at the vitamins your legs may be missing and how to gently, powerfully bring them back. There's a strange comfort in knowing why something happens, especially when it comes to our health. You may have noticed the stiffness in your hips or the heaviness in your thighs and assumed it was just part of growing older. But what if I told you that inside your body, 2 of the most common vitamin deficiencies are quietly robbing your legs of their strength? Not through pain or injury, but through absence. The quiet erosion of support you didn't even know was missing. Let's begin with vitamin D, often called the sunshine vitamin, but truly the backbone of bone and muscle health. Most people associate it with preventing fractures or keeping bones strong, but vitamin D is far more than that. It helps regulate muscle contraction. It supports coordination. It aids in reducing inflammation in your joints. It even helps your nerves communicate effectively. Without it, your entire lower body begins to falter. Not in a dramatic sudden collapse, but in the slow, unsettling way that makes stairs harder, chairs lower, walks shorter. The weakness creeps in gradually until one day you notice, my legs just don't have it anymore. And here's what's alarming. Almost 70% of older adults in North America are either low or deficient in vitamin D, especially those who avoid the sun, use sunscreen regularly, or live in colder climates. As we age, our skin produces less vitamin D from sunlight, and we absorb it less efficiently through food. Even if you eat well, your body might be blocked from using it. Combine that with medications like statins or antacids that interfere with absorption, and you have a recipe for hidden loss. If your legs ache when standing, if you feel wobbly even when well rested, if you're more prone to falling or fear losing your balance, these could be red flags of vitamin D deficiency. But how do you fix it? The answer starts with awareness, not guesswork. A simple blood test, 25-hydroxy vitamin D, can measure your levels. Optimal levels are usually above 30 ng/ml, though some experts recommend 40-60 for seniors. If you're low, most adults benefit from 1,000 to 2,000 IU of vitamin D3 daily taken with food. But don't stop there, because vitamin D needs a partner. That partner is vitamin B12, the unsung hero of your nervous system. If vitamin D is the builder, B12 is the electrician. It makes sure every signal from your brain reaches your legs with clarity, speed, and coordination. When B12 is low, nerves begin to misfire. You feel tingling in your toes, numbness in your feet, or that strange burning sensation after short walks. You might start dragging one foot without realizing it, or lose your balance when walking in the dark. These aren't clumsy moments. They're messages. Messages from a nervous system that's losing power. And here's the hard truth. After age 60, your ability to absorb B12 from food declines sharply. Even if you eat meat, eggs, or dairy, the stomach lining thins. Acid production decreases. And if you take medications like metformin, PPIs, or diuretics, your risk of deficiency multiplies. Blood tests can help, but they're not always reliable unless you also test methylmalonic acid or homocysteine, which show early signs of low B12. What can you do? First, start supplementing, gently but consistently. The best form for absorption is methylcobalamin, not cyanocobalamin. It's available as sublingual lozenges, sprays, or tablets that dissolve under the tongue. Why under the tongue? One to which they're on seniorhealthytips, because it bypasses the stomach and goes straight into your bloodstream. You may need 1,000 mcg per day initially, but check with a healthcare provider. And don't expect miracles overnight. Nerve recovery takes time, but within a few weeks, many people report better balance, clearer thinking, and more confidence with every step. Let me tell you about Harold. He was 76, had always been independent, and refused to use a walker even when his legs began to feel unreliable. He had fallen twice, nothing major but enough to scare his daughter. When she brought him to a clinic, they tested his B12. It was below 200. Within 3 months of supplementation, the numbness faded. His walking speed improved. And most importantly, the fear in his eyes softened. "I didn't think I could get this back," he said. "I thought this was just how it ends." But it wasn't. It was just how it restarts. What D and B12 give you isn't just mobility. They give you trust. Trust in your knees when you stand. Trust in your ankles when you walk. Trust that your legs will do what they've always done, carry you forward. If you've been feeling fatigue in your thighs, if you're sitting longer than you used to, if your calves cramp at night or your toes feel numb during the day, these are not normal signs of aging. They are signs of needs that your body can't fill without help. And this isn't about more is better. Oversupplementation is not the goal. Restoration is, you're not trying to become young again. You're trying to become fully supported so that the strength that still lives within you has something solid to stand on. You've already lived decades. You've worked, carried, built, walked, lifted, knelt, climbed. Your legs have given you so much. They deserve to receive something now. Not strain, not punishment, but nourishment. The right kind. Vitamin D and B12 are not magic, but they are essential. They lay the foundation. They restore the rhythm. They open the door to movement again. In the next part, we'll talk about magnesium and vitamin K2, two nutrients that help your legs relax and stabilize. Because once the bones and nerves are recharged, the muscles and vessels need to follow. Magnesium will help stop those nightly cramps. K2 will make sure your calcium ends up in your bones, not your arteries. Together, they'll bring back not just strength, but ease. So before you go to bed tonight, ask yourself, are my legs simply tired, or are they undernourished? If it's the second, you now know where to begin. If vitamins D and B12 are the foundation, what keeps your bones strong and your nerves firing, then magnesium and vitamin K2 are what give your legs stability. These two nutrients don't always show up in conversations about aging, but for your lower body, they are the missing rhythm and precision that transform clumsy, painful steps into grounded, confident motion. Most people never think about magnesium or K2 until something goes wrong. A cramp that jolts you awake, a leg that refuses to relax, a strange stiffness when you've done nothing all day, or perhaps worse, a slow, creeping tightness that doesn't hurt badly but never fully goes away. These sensations are often signs that something essential has fallen out of balance. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because your body is aging and what once came easily now requires attention. Let's start with magnesium, often called the calming mineral. And calm is exactly what your legs need. Magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body, but one of its most powerful roles is in muscle contraction and relaxation. Every step you take involves a wave of signals from your brain to your nerves to your muscles, telling them when to contract, when to hold, and when to let go. Without enough magnesium, that rhythm falters. Your muscles tighten when they should release. You wake in the night with sharp cramps in your calves. You try to stretch, but the muscle seems to lock instead of loosen. And during the day, your legs may feel tired and heavy, even after minimal effort. It's easy to dismiss these symptoms as just aging, but magnesium deficiency is one of the most widespread nutritional problems in older adults. And almost no one knows they have it. Why? Because stress, caffeine, alcohol, processed food medications like diuretics or blood pressure pills and even aging kidneys all deplete magnesium levels silently. The result is not just cramps. It's a whole body feeling of tension, especially in the legs, hips, and feet. Many people with restless leg syndrome, chronic leg fatigue, or poor sleep have found profound relief simply by restoring magnesium. What does that look like? First, try to eat magnesium-rich foods, daily spinach, almonds, cashews, pumpkin seeds, black beans, even dark chocolate. These foods don't just provide calories. They restore function. But food alone often isn't enough, especially for those over 60. That's where supplemental magnesium comes in. particularly forms like magnesium glycinate, which is gentle on the stomach, or magnesium citrate, which also helps with constipation. Start low, 200 mg per day, and increase gradually if needed. Many people find the best results when taking magnesium in the evening when the body is winding down. Another beautiful option. Epsom salt soaks. Magnesium sulfate in warm water can be absorbed through your skin, especially when soaking feet. It's an act of physical care and emotional comfort. 10 minutes. Warm water. A mineral your body is craving. And the night you sleep afterward. Deeper. Gentler on your legs. Now, once magnesium restores relaxation, vitamin K2 ensures direction. Most people know calcium is essential for bones. Some take supplements. Others rely on dairy. But few people realize calcium without guidance can cause harm. This is where vitamin K2 becomes essential. While vitamin D helps you absorb calcium, vitamin K2 tells calcium where to go. Without it, calcium can harden your arteries, collect in your joints, or build up in places that create stiffness and slow circulation. And when that happens in the legs, you begin to feel tight, not in the muscles, but in the bones and vessels themselves. Think about that cold feeling in your feet, or how your legs take longer to wake up after sitting. Think about how your knees feel harder, not just a cheer. These aren't always signs of arthritis. Sometimes they're the result of calcium that was absorbed, but never delivered to the right place. Vitamin K2 fixes that. It activates a protein called osteocalcin, which takes calcium to the bones, especially large weight-bearing bones like the femur, tibia, and pelvis. And it activates matrix GLA protein, which prevents calcium from sticking to artery walls. In other words, it protects both your strength and your circulation, a vital combination for aging legs. Here's the catch. Vitamin K2 is not the same as vitamin K1, which helps with clotting and is found in leafy greens. K2 is found in fermented foods like natto, a Japanese soybean product, aged cheeses, and some animal fats. But very few Western diets provide enough. That's why supplementation is often needed, especially if you're already taking vitamin D or calcium. Look for K2 in the MK7 form, which stays in the body longer and works more gently. A typical dose is 90 or 180 mcg per day, usually taken with a meal containing fat for better absorption. Together, magnesium and K2 provide what you might not even realize: you're missing fluidity and control. Magnesium allows your muscles to let go when they should. K2 ensures your bones stay strong and your blood keeps flowing. And when these systems work in harmony, the difference in your legs can be remarkable. Less cramping, more flexibility, a confidence in walking that doesn't come from thinking positive, but from physiology working properly. Let me tell you about Margaret. She was 79 and had been suffering from nightly leg cramps for years. Her doctor ruled out circulation issues. Her labs seemed normal, but her daughter, an occupational therapist, suggested trying magnesium and vitamin K2, just a small dose each night. Within 10 days, Margaret slept through the night without leg pain. Within a month, she was walking her block again, holding her posture straighter, moving like a woman years younger. "I didn't even know how tight my legs had become," she said, "until they weren't anymore." These changes are not magic. They are the quiet rebalancing of systems that have been out of alignment for years, sometimes decades. And they work not because you push harder, but because you give your body what it's been quietly asking for. Let's step back and look at the big picture. Vitamin D supports the bones. B12 powers the nerves. Magnesium calms the muscles. K2 strengthens the skeletal framework and clears the circulatory path. One by one, each piece adds to your capacity, not just to move, but to move with peace. Because movement without pain is not luxury. It is health. It is dignity. It is joy. You don't need to climb a mountain, but you do deserve to step out your door without hesitation. You deserve to carry your groceries without wondering if your knees will hold. You deserve to bend to tie your shoe without wincing or fearing you won't rise. These are not things you've lost. They are things your body can return to when the conditions are right. In the next part, we'll explore the final essential nutrient, vitamin E, a protector of blood vessels and a shield for your leg nerves. We'll also walk through a 7-day strength restoration plan that you can begin at home tonight. But before we get there, take this moment, feel your legs. Wiggle your toes, flex your calves, and ask yourself, what would it mean to move without fear again? That journey is waiting, and it's not far. There's something powerful about reaching the final piece of a puzzle, You've already discovered how vitamin D supports your bones, how B12 restores nerve clarity, how magnesium relaxes your muscles, and how vitamin K2 guides calcium home. Each one plays a vital role in the symphony of your legs, helping you rise, walk, balance, and move with strength. But there's one more element, one more layer of support that too often goes unnoticed. And for many people over 60, it's the missing link between feeling strong and staying strong. That final piece is vitamin E, the body's internal shield against damage. Most people think of vitamin E in terms of skin or immune health, but what they don't realize is that this nutrient is essential for your circulation, your nerves, and your muscle endurance, especially in your lower body. Picture your legs as highways of movement in life. Blood flows through capillaries. Nerve signals fire along delicate pathways. Every step you take depends on oxygen reaching your muscles and your nerves firing on cue. When those systems are under attack from oxidative stress, tiny invisible damages caused by age, pollution, inflammation, or even daily exertion, vitamin E is what stands guard. So, what happens when you don't get enough? The signs are subtle. Your feet start to tingle more often. Your legs tire more quickly on short walks. You feel burning or numbness that comes and goes. Wounds on your shins take longer to heal. Your calves cramp, not just at night, but while walking. And here's the twist. Even if you eat well, you may not be getting enough vitamin E, especially if you're on a low-fat diet or taking medications that deplete your stores. As with other fat-soluble vitamins, absorption decreases with age, and the body holds on to it less efficiently. That means even a small deficiency can have a big impact. Restoring vitamin E isn't complicated. Start with food. Sunflower seeds, almonds, hazelnuts, spinach, and avocados are rich sources. Add them into your meals intentionally. If supplementation is needed, look for natural D-alpha tocopherol, not the synthetic form. A typical dose ranges from 100 to 400 IU per day, but always begin slowly. And remember, vitamin E works best in harmony, with vitamin C, selenium, and omega-3s playing supporting roles. When you give your body this balance, you don't just improve circulation, you help your legs wake up again. That buzzing feeling in your calves, that strange heaviness in your thighs. It may not be fatigue. It may be your body trying to perform with too little support. Let me tell you about James. One. He was 83 and he loved his garden. But over the years, his legs had grown too weak to walk the stone path. He'd plant sitting down or ask neighbors for help. His doctor told him it was just age. But a nutrition-savvy neighbor gave him a blend of vitamin E, magnesium, and B complex. Slowly, he began walking again. His calves no longer cramped. His toes stopped tingling. The path seemed less intimidating. One morning, he walked across it upright, holding a watering can. "I thought that part of life was over," he said. Turns out it was just on pause. These stories matter because they remind us that aging isn't failure. It's change. And change can be guided, supported, even reversed in quiet, beautiful ways. That's why I want to leave you not just with information, but with a plan. A simple 7-day guide to help you begin supporting your legs. Starting tonight. No extreme diets, no intense workouts, just gentle, consistent nourishment. Day 1, begin by observing. Don't change anything yet. Just notice. How do your legs feel when you rise from bed? How far can you comfortably walk? Where do you feel the most tension? Day 2, introduce vitamin D and B12. If you haven't already, begin taking them. Ideally in the morning with food. Spend 10 minutes in the sun if you can. Start your day with support. Day 3, add magnesium. Take it at night, perhaps as a supplement or through a warm Epsom salt foot soak. Allow your body to relax before sleep. Notice how your legs feel in the morning. Day 4, adjust your sleep position. Place a pillow between your knees if you sleep on your side. Support your lower back if you sleep on your back. Leg strain often begins during sleep. Day 5, introduce vitamin K2. Take it with your vitamin D. This duo ensures that calcium goes into your bones, not into your joints or arteries. Day 6, eat intentionally. Add magnesium and E-rich foods into your meals. A handful of almonds, a spinach salad, avocado on toast. Small changes, big results. Day 7, reflect. How have your legs changed? Are you walking more freely, sleeping more peacefully, feeling less stiffness or tingling? These shifts matter. Write them down. Celebrate them. This plan isn't a cure, but it is a beginning. A way to shift the story from I can't to I'm trying to I'm getting stronger. Because your legs are still listening, your body still wants to heal. And healing doesn't always roar. It often begins in silence in the decision to say, I'm not giving up. So if you've felt stuck, if you've feared decline, if you've mourned the strength you once had, I'm here to tell you your legs haven't left you. They've simply been waiting for you to come back. And when you do, when you nourish them fully, intentionally, gently, don't be surprised if one day you rise without effort. Walk without fear. Move without thinking. That is not a miracle. That is you restored,